what you know, and by the packaging, if you do have the package.
Well, there's only one package, so.
One package.
One.
And you have.
Blister pack, yeah.
Now, how cool is that?
Yeah.
So, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Hot Wheels TV. Today we are with Ted Gray. Ted is a huge collector of the Superfine Turbine. Just actually wrote a book on the Sipsa, which we're going to get to later. And I know a lot of you going, Sipsa, what the heck is Sipsa? You're going to find out. So, Ted, good to see you, buddy.
How you doing, Mike?
I don't get to see you that often.
Oh, twice a year.
Yeah, twice a year. Twice a year. Well, that's that's not much. Now, we were kind of kidding earlier. I've known of you for a long time. You collect the Superfine Turbine,
That's
which
correct.
is one of the rarest castings in the history of Hot Wheels. Am I correct?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, what got you into the Superfine Turbine? What about the casting? Why do you do what you do?
Well, my career, before I retired, I was a turbine and generator controls engineer.
There you go.
So, as a corollary to that, I started and deciding that I didn't need every Hot Wheel ever made. I began to focus my collection on any of the castings that have turbine engines.
Okay.
So, of course, this one is the quintessential turbine engine.
Yeah, great big old turbine hanging out the front and
Right.
a seat.
Rare, cool, and I had never even known of it as a kid because I quit collecting as a kid at 1972
Myself, yeah, included. I
and never saw it. Never
Yeah.
saw it in the store. So I didn't even know about it until I got my first book, which I think was the original Bob Parker book.
Great guy, good friend of ours.
And Charles took all the pictures. Charles Kitson took all the pictures.
Another amazing guy from England.
Yeah. So got my very first Superfine turbine. It was a green one, lime one, in the 1994 convention.
Now, did you stop collecting like a lot of us from a kid to like your teens and 20s, or did you continue all the way through?
I pretty much stopped. I mean, married with children, I had, I remember picking up a couple of like real riders when they first came out, thinking those were interesting. And when my son was a kid and there was a Kellogg's promo, we mailed in for a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until 1993 that I actually started recollecting, so to speak. So there was from 72 to 93.
Like a lot of us, a lot of us started buying things for our kids in the 90s because they were old enough to play with Hot Wheels. And of course, we thought, well, heck, we loved Hot Wheels. Our kids got to love Hot Wheels. Some of us got that disappointment where their kids didn't want to, and we started collecting again. So, but you started collecting for yourself?
Yes. And
cool.
But I still have my childhood 80-some Redlines, so I never got rid of them.
Good.
My daughter and we'd be running them down the stairs and stuff at home, and then I went to a flea market and there was a beater, Brabham Repco with no wheels with a $60 price tag on it, and I'm like,
really?
I'm like, what's going on here? And then that's when I searched out the Bob Parker book, because it was the only book out
Yeah, it was.
at the time for a couple of years.
Bob put the first one out, and then after that, of course, Mike Strauss did the Tolmart book.
And then it just went from there.
Wow. So how did you said that you wanted anything with a turbine on it. How did you find the Superfine?
Well, I just started looking for them at conventions and in collections and toy shows. And
was it packaged, the one you got?
No, the first one I got was loose, and then then back in the America Online days, early days, there was a guy out of New Philadelphia, Ohio, Larry Silver is what he used to go by. And he came across a group of probably 15 or 20 73 blister packs.
Which
And,
are very rare.
My phone is ringing, but so he called me and offered me those two Superfine Turbine blister packs out of that group, and I bought them. So
Were they crazy money then?
They were $400
Each or for the pair?
each,
Okay.
which was not small money at the time.
Yeah, you're a brave man. His wife's sitting right over there. So, but yeah,
And then-
so they were that expensive and that rare back then.
But then, like a year or two later, because I used to go on, whenever I'd go online, who's got my pink Superfine? That was like, I'd hit the board or the chat room, and then suddenly
Rec
one
Toys.
day,
Rec Toys, was that it?
no, it was before that.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
before that, and some guy put a random post on the AOL board, and says, "What's a pink Superfine and a blister pack worth?" It was like, don't know, but
But what do you want
let's
for it?
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a bunch of people were competing, and the guy.
So there were other people out there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because a pink Superfine is rare enough as it is, and then blister pack was unknown.
Right.
So,
And of course the enamels being what
Yep.
they were, people were just trying to get
So
whatever they could.
the third one I got was the pink, and then once I had the pink, I'm like, well,
Gotta be more.
might as well get the rest. So then it just went up from there.
Cool. So how many do you have altogether?
I don't know.
Oh,
Roughly,
okay. Do you have all of the colors?
yeah, three of each color, one in blister and two loose at a minimum. This red one is the only error car I've ever found. Has the large capped wheels
Okay.
front and rear. And then other, the Sipsas came along, and that expanded the number of colors to 10.
So where were the original ones? What's on the base of the original ones? Before the Sipsas? What country?
They're all, even the Sipsas are Hong Kong, 1972.
Okay. So with that being said, how did you know that a CIPSA, well, why don't you tell us where a CIPSA is?
A Sipsa is a genuine Hot Wheel car that was made in Mexico under license by a company called the Compañía de Industrial de Plásticos S.A., which is, S.A. means like incorporated. So they have a logo and a mnemonic, or whatever you call it, abbreviation of CIPSA. So
CIPSA.
that's correct. Not CISPA, CIPSA.
CIPSA. So
anyway, they were even unknown largely in Mexico until around 2003. So a few of them, few odd cars would pop up, and people were like, "What the heck is that?" Because it says Hong Kong and U.S. on it, but it's a goofy color, or it has a goofy interior, and people in the know declared them to be fakes.
Right. Well, of course. Now people are. Whenever somebody sees something that they've never seen before, oh, that's fake.
Yeah. Well, not everybody, but certain people.
Certain people, you know, that don't have one, that want one. But yeah. So and.
So it was clear that there was something going on because a few of these started to pop up out of Mexico, and then the real turning point was the blister pack, the Superfine Turbine in blister pack. So it came up on eBay, and it was clear and direct evidence with, you know, the full blister card in Spanish, a bunch of list of castings that they've made on the back, and that was like, okay.
Like, there you go. It's
so
real.
It's real. Everything here is real. So then it just, from there, it's like, what else is there?
As with anything else,
yes.
You know, a lot of at this time, a lot of the Leo stuff is coming out, and for a while there was a few here and there, and a couple of castings, and a couple of colors.
Right.
And now it's like somebody's got a factory in their backyard. Castings that are coming out, and the colors that are coming out, and the different packages that are coming out. Just finding stuff from years ago, and it's actually a great time in collecting.
Yeah.
To find all of this odd, rare stuff.
Yeah, it's always been said that the flood is going to come, and it's now been over 15 years, and it's still a trickle. And even with the Mexican collecting community fully embracing CIPSAs now, they're just not found.
Now, why would you say fully embracing? But like, did they not? Was it something different other than the Hot Wheel brand? I mean,
they were just largely unaware of it.
Okay. So in their stores they had Hot Wheels and then the Sipsa?
No, the way it worked is you could not import a fully assembled blister packed product into Mexico due to the trade laws.
Okay.
So the only way that you could have a genuine Hot Wheel car was to have it under license manufactured in Mexico.
Oh, all
so
right.
For those years, that's why they called them Los Auténticos, the real thing, is because they weren't a knockoff, they were the real thing, they were licensed.
And then they
Hot
were
Wheels.
assembled there.
They were, yeah, and the plastic was done there, but they're all, again, the metalwork appears to have all come from Mattel.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Mexico country of origin on any of them.
And the other way to tell is by the colors, knowing what you know, and by the packaging, if you do have the package.
Well, there's only one package, so.
One package.
One.
And you have.
Blister pack, yeah.
Now, how cool is that?
Yeah. I should clarify, there is a second, but it's not sealed. It was, ripped open years ago, so the car is there, the blister's there, the card's there, but it's not sealed.
Is that one a Superfine Turbine also,
No,
or
it
that
is
was something
not.
else?
It's an odd job, and it's in the collection of a guy in Mexico.
Okay, cool.
And the funny part about it is it came from Germany. So a merchant marine had been in Mexico, collected die-cast, took the car back to Germany, put it on eBay,
And
So lesson learned is when you search eBay, do it worldwide.
oh, always, always. If you no, wait, we shouldn't tell them that
Worldwide.
because they're going to be finding all the cool stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, that's so. There's only 2 known CIPSA
Cards.
cards in
Period.
the world right now.
Yeah, period.
Yours is sealed. The other one is open.
Yep.
That's really cool. That's right up there with, you know.
It's rare.
Yeah, yeah. That's all right. Wow. So I'm guessing that this whole rareness intrigued you to search out the other CIPSA
Correct.
product, and led you to, of course, to write a book about it.
Yeah, and I've had a website documenting it for
Yes.
years.
I'm sure
So-
a lot of the people watching
So it
have
just went
checked
from,
it out.
just seemed a natural progression to put it down on paper.
And I've seen it. It is. He showed it to me before he did it. Right there, and trust me, it's amazing. So, other than the superfine stuff, you got into collecting the CIPSA stuff.
That's correct.
And so over the years, now I've seen your website, and there's really not a lot out there that, the packaged, track sets, places, because everybody knows that that's the stuff that I love.
The licensed products were a very, very small subset of what you would have found in the same year's Mattel release. They were a year later, and it was a very small fraction, only 2 or 3 play sets a year at the most.
How many? Do you know how many were actually done?
It's in the book.
Okay. See, he's not going to tell me. I got to buy the book, and you should too. So they all the CIPSA stuff started in 72, 73 with the enamel stuff,
1971 was their first year of production.
and they were sold
They
in
went
72, or were they?
72, 73, 74, and then things get mucky.
Okay.
And then there's some definitive products from 1978.
Oh, really?
Yes, but only 1 track set. In terms of the Hot Wheels, there was other Sizzler sets.
Right. And I have seen that. Sizzler's cars, Sizzler sleds.
Correct, and Rumblers and Hot Shots, Vertibird,
They're in here. Okay.
and there's still more to learn.
I'm sure.
And
I'm sure.
I'm hoping that the release of the Spanish version will.
You're gonna do a Spanish version?
There's a Spanish version being released on October 26th at the event in Guadalajara, Escala 64 event.
That is, you got 200 pages. That's a lot of information from a guy who's written a bunch of books. And it's not like the words are this big either. There's a lot of information in here. I applaud you. I really, when we had talked last year and you showed it to me, it's like, yeah, this is definitely something great for the hobby. Teaching other people about what we collect and the rarities and things like that is, I think, is noble. But yeah, it's definitely having the odd, rare stuff is a way to go. Do you know how many? Well, no, I'm not even going to ask you how many cars were made, because they can find that in the book.
There's no production numbers. Nobody knows. But what is, to me, is manifestly amazing about the whole thing is that for at least 10 to 12 years, I've been trying to get anybody who had one to put it into what I call the CIPSA registry. So literally every known piece is on the website. Now, who knows what fraction of those known pieces we're able to capture, but I think it's over 70%.
Well,
I'm guessing at this, and to date, there are less than 900 known individual pieces of any diecast from Sipsa. So there's less than 1,000
that's a
pieces.
very,
period.
very low number.
There's
considering
probably 1,000 turbo fires in this building today.
Yeah, there's the amount of cars that they produce every day compared to the 900. You know, I mean, heck, they make that in probably a minute.
Yeah.
You know, so that's rare, and I think, as you said, 15 years has only been up to 900 found. And of course, we know that there's stuff in somebody's toy box in Mexico somewhere. You know, there's guys our age that, you know, go back to their mother's house or wherever and say, "Oh, look, there's my old Hot Wheels."
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it in Spanish, but I can't speak Spanish. And I think the Spanish version is definitely a good thing, because someone who reads Spanish, they're gonna say, "I never knew that," and "I got those," and they're gonna get in touch with Ted. And if you have any, you know, and you're watching this for the first time, let him know. You know, get in touch with him. You type his name into Google, real easy to find, and you know.
CIPSAcars.com.
Yep, there you go. CIPSA.
Cars.com.
So, but yeah, definitely, if you are into Redlines and just collecting Hot Wheels at all, Ted's collection is amazing. The book is amazing. Check it out. And Ted, I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For your time. And I wish you all the best. But I think, you know,
15 minutes of fame.
I love your collection, and you know, definitely what you've done with the book. So
Thank you.
thank you very much, and thank you guys for watching. So until the next time we see you right here at Hot Wheels TV, we're at the Hot Wheels convention. You guys need to come out. So, but until then, take care of yourself. See you later. Bye bye.